Watch Dogs Legion released almost 4 years ago. Since then, we haven't heard about a fourth Watch Dogs game. In this video, I will talk about Watch Dogs 4 and what it will look like. But first, we should take a look at all 3 Watch Dogs games. I will analyze each game, so we can have a better understanding of this franchise and where it could go next. Let's dive into it. Let's go all the way back to E3 2012. Watch Dogs 1 was revealed with an amazing demo that blew people's minds. The graphics were impressive, the hacking was awesome, and the gameplay looked cinematic. Everything about it looked great. At the time, players were convinced that Watch Dogs 1 was going to be a revolutionary game, that it would redefine the open world genre. Fast forward to 2014 when Watch Dogs 1 is released. After 2 long years of waiting, people finally got their hands on the game. But when they sat down and actually played it, complete disappointment.
My disappointment is immeasurable, and my day is ruined.
First of all, the graphics had been massively downgraded. Remember the amazing visuals from the E3 2012 demo? That was basically a lie. The final game looks nothing close to that first demo.
Oh, no.
The hacking mechanic was supposed to be the heart of the game, but it also felt very basic. You can hack into cameras, you can control traffic lights, and cause steam pipes to burst, but that's about it. It felt kind of limited.
It's the biggest piece of dog shit that I have ever heard.
However, the game wasn't all bad. In fact, I would say it's a solid open-world game. The city itself looked really good, especially at night. The combat was also great, with a perfect mix of gunplay and stealth. A lot of the side activities were amazing, like the cash run mini-game and the digital trips. The dark and serious story was awesome too. If you ignore all the downgrades, the game itself is not bad.
I like this one.
Yeah, it looks nothing like the revolutionary masterpiece we were shown, but it's still a decent game. It also sold very well despite all the controversy. Within just 24 hours, the game sold over 4 million copies, making it a massive success. This convinced Ubisoft to develop another Watch Dogs game. Watch Dogs 2 released in 2016, and it takes place in San Francisco. Right from the start, you can tell that Watch Dogs 2 is nothing like the first game. The tone feels completely different. Watch Dogs 1 had a dark and serious tone. Watch Dogs 2, on the other hand, is much more playful and lighthearted. Although I prefer the serious vibe of the first game, I didn't mind the more playful tone of Watch Dogs 2. I can also understand why Ubisoft went with the change in tone, since many players did not like the seriousness of Watch Dogs 1. Watch Dogs 2 also greatly improved the hacking mechanic. This time you can hack into a wider variety of objects. You can now hack and control vehicles, drones, and even robots. You can also control forklifts, which allow you to access hard-to-reach areas. This game also introduced many new gadgets, such as the RC car and drone. These were really great for stealth. Let's say you need to hack a server inside an enemy base. You can deploy the RC car, drive it through a tiny vent, and then use it to hack the server. For harder missions that require more strategy, you can use your drone to scout the area and carefully plan your approach. Or for those who prefer a more aggressive play style, you can also just shoot everything on sight. It's entirely up to you. All the new tools and gadgets give players much more freedom, allowing them to play however they like.
Impressive. Very nice.
Even though Watch Dogs 2 is a great game, it's also not perfect. The story and characters felt underdeveloped. Don't get me wrong, Marcus and his crew were fun, but the game doesn't really flesh them out. The story also feels too silly at times. I liked the fun and playful vibe of this game, but I think they should have scaled down on the humor. The constant jokes were a bit annoying. Despite these issues, the game is still great. A lot of people say it's an improvement over the first game.
This is brilliant, but I like this.
Watch Dogs Legion released in 2020. It took players to London in the near future. The biggest change in Legion is that you can play as literally anyone. You can recruit anyone you see in the open world, and then take control of them. A construction worker, a spy, or even a grandma.
You serious?
Some recruits also come with their own unique abilities, which gives you different advantages during missions. This mechanic was really cool. However, it also presents a big issue. Since there is no central protagonist, the story feels weak. It's hard to tell a compelling story when it doesn't have a strong protagonist, and every person you recruit feels forgettable. They all have zero personality. However, if you overlook this issue, the game itself is great. This time, there are even more tools and gadgets, such as the spider bot, the cargo drone, and the AR cloak, which allows you to turn invisible. And although the story suffered because of it, the ability to play as anyone was awesome. It gave players even more freedom than before. You could tackle missions in all kinds of different ways. The London setting was also great. On top of that, we even got a story DLC where we see Aiden Pierce teaming up with Wrench. This was really cool for longtime fans of the series. Now that brings us to Watch Dogs 4. What could that look like? Maybe Watch Dogs 4 could be set in the far future, like Cyberpunk 2077. I think this would be really fitting for a Watch Dogs game. A futuristic setting would allow Ubisoft to push the hacking mechanic into a bold new direction. Or maybe this game could go back to modern-day Chicago with a more grounded and cinematic experience. It would be a prequel to the first game, where we see Aiden's backstory and how he became a vigilante. This could be really cool, and if they handle the story well, they might redeem him as a character. They could also go in a similar direction as Watch Dogs Legion and bring back the ability where you can play as anyone. However, they would need to improve this mechanic. In Legion, every person you played as felt forgettable, which undermined the story. In this game, every person you play as should have an actual voice and personality. But this is all speculation. We don't know what Watch Dogs 4 will look like. We don't even know if Watch Dogs 4 will happen. Ubisoft right now is facing big financial challenges, and their future is uncertain. Some of their recent games, like Star Wars Outlaws, didn't sell very well. Their latest game, Assassin's Creed Shadows, was a success, but this still wasn't enough to save Ubisoft. They are still struggling. Ubisoft even had to close one of their studios, causing many people to lose their jobs.
Rev up those fryers, cause I am sure hungry for one. Help! Help! My leg!
Can't you see we're closed?
With all the problems Ubisoft is experiencing, it's hard to picture them making a new Watch Dogs. To stay afloat, they are instead prioritizing their more popular titles like Assassin's Creed. They're not really in a position to take risks. So yeah, there's no hint of Watch Dogs 4 being made. It probably won't happen soon, but there's still hope. If Ubisoft manages to fix their issues and bounce back, we could see the return of Watch Dogs. But for now, fans of this series might need to wait. So there you have it. That's the story of Watch Dogs so far. But now I want to hear from you. What do you all think? What do you want Watch Dogs 4 to look like? And do you have faith in Ubisoft? Let me know in the comment section below.